Will China and India go to war in 2025? This is a question that keeps many of us awake at night. As geopolitical tensions rise and the shadow of nuclear war looms, it's crucial to understand the factors driving this potential conflict. However, in recent times, the narrative has taken a sharp turn. As China and India invest heavily in advanced weaponry and fortify their positions, the specter of a large-scale conflict looms ominously on the horizon. The absence of a clearly demarcated border has resulted in a situation where neither side feels truly secure. Each new patrol, each new outpost establishment becomes a potential flashpoint, raising the risk of unintended escalation. The destruction of vast swaths of ecologically fragile regions could have long-lasting consequences for the planet. The delicate Himalayan ecosystem, home to numerous endangered species and vital for the water security of the entire region, could be decimated by the forces of war. Diplomatic efforts and international mediation play a crucial role in averting large-scale conflicts. It underscores the urgent need for diplomacy, cooperation, and mutual understanding. Only through these avenues can we hope to prevent a catastrophic conflict that would not only devastate the two nations, but also have far-reaching consequences for the entire global community. Encouraging dialogue and fostering cooperation between China and India is essential to finding peaceful resolutions. China has been India's largest trading partner for the past 13 years, but trade has become increasingly lopsided in Beijing's favor. China has also criticized India's decision to join the US-led Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, seeing it as an attempt to contain Chinese influence in the region. This economic rivalry has spilled over into the military sphere, with both countries investing heavily in their armed forces and engaging in a massive arms race. China's military budget has grown by double digits for years, while India has also increased defense spending to counter Chinese aggression. If you found this video insightful, we encourage you to stay tuned for more in-depth analyses on global politics. Your engagement is invaluable to us, so don't forget to hit the like button and leave your comments below. Together, we can continue to learn and grow in our understanding of the complexities that shape our world. This military buildup has created a climate of fear and suspicion, making it more likely that any minor incident could escalate into a larger conflict. The two nations have been involved in a shadow war for decades, competing economically, militarily, and diplomatically. Both countries know that such a war would be disastrous, and neither side wants to risk it. Clashes will probably occur again in the near future, and it is important to be prepared for them. India and China need to find a way to coexist peacefully. They should focus on improving relations, increasing trade, and reducing military tensions. If they can find a way to do this, then they can create a more stable and prosperous future for the region. India has a nuclear arsenal, and China knows that even a limited war could escalate into a nuclear exchange. Additionally, both countries have a lot to lose economically. A war would disrupt trade, damage infrastructure, and cost lives. There are simply too many risks involved for either country to take the plunge. Tensions have escalated in recent years, leading to clashes in the disputed border regions. China's aggressive stance and expansionist policies have raised concerns in India, prompting New Delhi to take a tougher stance against Beijing. The relationship between these two influential nations is complex and multifaceted, shaped by historical, economic, and geopolitical factors. While tensions exist, and there are potential flashpoints that could escalate, it is crucial to recognize the efforts being made by both sides to maintain peace and stability. Open dialogue, mutual understanding, and cooperation are essential to addressing border disputes and fostering a more harmonious relationship. It is through these avenues that we can collectively work towards a future where China and India, with their rich histories and contributions to humanity, can coexist peacefully and collaboratively contribute to global progress. India has also reached out to the United States for support in countering Chinese influence. This growing rivalry has created a toxic political environment that could easily spiral into open conflict. Both nations must recognize the futility of military posturing and the shared responsibility they have towards regional stability. Investing in confidence-building measures such as joint military exercises and cultural exchanges can go a long way in fostering mutual understanding and trust. Additionally, engaging with regional and international organizations like the United Nations can provide a platform for constructive dialogue and peacekeeping initiatives, but the ramifications extend far beyond the immediate physical consequences. A China-India conflict would have profound political and economic repercussions. Disruptions to supply chains, trade routes, and financial markets would send ripples across the global economy. Neither country has a clear understanding of where the border actually lies, which has led to frequent incursions and clashes. The Galwan Valley incident in 2020 was a particularly violent example of this border dispute. 20 Indian soldiers and an unknown number of Chinese soldiers were killed in hand-to-hand combat. This incident shattered any remaining illusions of a peaceful resolution to the border dispute and raised the stakes for any future clashes. Investors would scramble for safety, leading to market volatility and uncertainty. This inherent ambiguity acts as a constant source of friction, making compromise and peaceful resolution all the more elusive. Furthermore, the strategic implications of a China-India war would be far-reaching. It could potentially alter the balance of power in Asia and beyond. Regional alliances and partnerships would be put to the test as nations are forced to take sides or navigate the complexities of this conflict. The war could also embolden other territorial disputes and separatist movements, potentially sparking a chain reaction of conflicts across the region. But the border dispute is just one piece of a complex puzzle. But what are the potential consequences of such a conflict? The implications are nothing short of catastrophic. A war between these two nuclear-armed nations would not only shatter the fabric of regional stability, but also send shockwaves across the globe. The use of even conventional weapons on such a massive scale would result in colossal loss of life, displacing millions and leaving a trail of physical and psychological trauma in its wake. Economic rivalry adds another layer of complexity to this already precarious situation. China's massive infrastructure projects like the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor have raised strategic concerns in India. The CPEC, seen as a linchpin in China's ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, traverses through Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, a region at the heart of the long-standing India-Pakistan conflict. This perceived encroachment into India's core interests has fueled anti-China sentiment within India, further complicating the diplomatic landscape. The once warm ties have been overshadowed by a series of events that have escalated tensions to unprecedented levels. One cannot ignore the elephant in the room, the lingering border dispute. For decades, the western sector of the Himalayas has been a bone of contention between the two neighbors. Both sides claim sovereignty over this strategically important region, leading to a delicate peace that often teeters on the edge of violence. The Galwan Valley clashes of 2020 were a stark reminder of the fragility of this uneasy truce. The brutal fisticuffs that left casualties on both sides shattered the illusion of peaceful coexistence and injected a potent cocktail of mistrust and animosity into the bilateral relationship. This incident served as a watershed moment, marking a departure from the long-standing tradition of border personnel. Maintaining tranquility along the line of actual control. In this video, we'll delve deep into the complex web of border disputes, economic rivalries, and historical baggage that could push these two influential nations towards war. But before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to be notified about our latest videos. And without further ado, let's dive into the pressing issue of whether China and India will engage in hostilities in 2025. China and India. Two ancient civilizations with rich cultural heritages have historically enjoyed cordial relations. The ramifications of this dispute resonate far beyond the snow-covered peaks of the Himalayas. It has become a catalyst for an intense military buildup on both sides. To make matters worse, the lack of a formalized boundary agreement leaves a significant gray area, ripe for miscalculation and confrontation. As the world stands on the precipice of a new era, the specter of war between China and India casts a long shadow over the horizon. Moreover, the environmental ramifications of such a conflict would be equally disastrous. In a globalized world, such instability can trigger a domino effect, impacting even the most remote corners of the planet. But amidst these daunting challenges, there is still hope. The threat of war between China and India serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of peace in our world today. It is no secret that China and India are locked in a fierce competition for dominance in Asia. One of the biggest flashpoints in the India-China relationship is the disputed border. Economic competition is another major source of tension between India and China. Despite all these tensions, it is unlikely that India and China will go to war in 2025 or anytime soon. While a full-scale war is unlikely, low-intensity conflicts along the border will likely continue. In conclusion, while the prospect of a war between China and India in 2025 may seem alarming, it is important to approach this topic with nuance and objectivity. Thank you for joining us on this thought-provoking journey as we explore the intricate dynamics of international relations.